Welcome back to the phase detection crash course in OpenCv with C++. I am Mishuda Chandu and I am super excited to be instructor of this course. So let's see the agenda for this course. So first you're going to see that how can you install the OpenCv on the Windows machine. Then you're going to set up the environment for the C++ in OpenCv. Then you're going to see that how can you load on images and also show it using C++. Next, we're going to create one camera, and after that, we are going to detect the faces and also count that how many face is detected. So now, without any further ado, so let's get started. So in order to install the OpenCv library for C++, you need to just go this link for github.com/opencv/release. So after opening this link, you can get this kind of pages and you can get some version that is available for OpenCv. Okay, so I am going to actually install the latest one. You can install any kind of version, like say 4.5.1 or 3.4.13. That is up to you. Okay, so I'm going to actually install the latest one. So latest one is 4.5.5. So I'm going to just click on this link, and this is for executable file for Windows, and just click this file and download this. So I'm not actually going to download it here again because I already downloaded it already in my system. So after downloading the file, you need to also install this, also set the environment variable path. So after downloading this exe file, you can get this kind of file. Just click on here and you need to actually give here one path where you are going to actually install. So I'm going to be installing this in my D drive. So I created one folder that's called software, and inside this software, I am actually creating another folder that's called OpenCv CPP, and you need to just click on here to extract that. So I will extract this and also get one folder that's called OpenCv. So after extracting the file, you can get one folder that's called OpenCv. So now we need to actually set up here our environment variable path. So for that, you need to go to this OpenCv folder and click on the build and click on the cross 64, and you need to go on the BC15, and after that you need to go on this bin again, back, build, x64, BC15, bin, and just you need to copy this path. Okay, and now you need to go on the search bar and type here environment variable path, and you need to go here environment variable. You need to select this path, click on edit, click new, and you need to paste it here. So I will actually paste it here, this one already. You can see here D software OpenCv CPP, that's in C++, OpenCv build x4 BC150, and the bin one. Also, you need to do the same thing for here, path, edit, and you can actually paste it on here on the both side, and just click at OK and click at OK. Now your OpenCv for the C++ installation is done. Now you need to actually install one editor. So for that, you're going to actually using the Visual Studio Community version 2019. So for installing this library, you need to go this link. You can get this link on the video description, no problem. You can actually install the Visual Studio Community version for 2019 that I'm actually using, or you can actually using the community version for 2022. That's been the latest one. You can just go this link and download that. And after downloading that, you need to also set up here one thing for desktop deployment for C++. You need to just select this, and after that, you need to install. So after installing that, you need to also sign up with your Microsoft account, and you can do the coding here. So now we are going to actually create one simple C++ file, and we are going to actually doing the coding for OpenCv. So now let's open your Visual Studio Code. The version I'm actually using that is called Visual Studio Community version 2019. I actually installing this community version after 1 year ago, so that's why I'm not actually using the latest one. You can also use the latest version, no problem. And also make sure that when you're actually installing this Visual Studio Community version, make sure that you enable the desktop development for C++. So now I'm going to create here one new project, and I'm going to select this empty project here and click here to next. and you need to give here one project name. So let's give here face, let's say detection. Okay, and click here to create, and it will create one C++ project for you. So after opening this file, you can get some this kind of warning. No problem here. Just you need to click here to select this x64 now. And now you need to configure this project file. So for that, what I can do, you need to just select this project and go to this view, or not view, actually go to this project and go to this properties. And now you need to actually configure the library file and also the build file for OpenCv. So for that, you need to select this B, C++ directories, and you can see here include directories. So for that, you need to just click on here and click here to edit, and you need to give your one path. So what should be the path here? So now you need to go on this folder that you are actually getting after starting the OpenCv 4.5.5. So now you need to actually include here the build library. So for that, you need to go inside your build folder, and you can see here one include. Just you need to copy this path from here and you need to paste it inside your build path. So now you need to actually click here to include the line, and you can paste it on here. Now your include path is actually added here. Okay, and now you need to also click here the library directory where the library file is actually situated. So you need to click here again, edit, and you need to also give here the path. So let's copy the path here. Now you need to go back. Here again, and you need to go to this x64, go to the BC15, and also go to this leaf folder. This is your library folder. You need to just copy this path here, and you need to paste it inside your Visual Studio Community version 2019. So now you need to go inside your linker and select the input, and you can see here additional dependencies. You need to just click on here and click here to edit. And now you need to type here one thing that is called OpenCv world, WRLD, and your OpenCv version. So that's it for 55d.lib. So how you actually get this additional dependency? So you can get this dependency link here. You can see your object file library. So this is the file that you need to actually link here. Okay, just you need to double click. You can copy, or you can also type it here, right? See, I actually already type it here, or you can paste it, or actually give here the extension s.lib. Okay, and click it to apply, and okay, cool. Now you configure your OpenCv project file in for C++. Now you need to actually click here, and you need to actually add one new item, and you can actually now give here one file name, and you can create one empty file for C++, and click here to add. Cool. Now your C++ file is right now added. Now you can do the start. You can do the coding part here. So now you can see here one empty C++ file is actually created. So now let's see how can you read one images using OpenCv. So for that, I need to go on this project folder and right click and open folder in the file explorer. So I am going to actually paste here two files. First one is my images, and another one nothing but called the head cascade frontal default.xml file. So these are the images that you are going to first read that, and this file is nothing but for detecting the face. We are going to do further. So first you're going to see that how can actually load these images. Okay, and also after that you're going to create one camera. Okay, so now we need to include here some header file. So let's say hash include. So this is the hash include, not import here in the C++, hash include, and you need to give here the OpenCv2, and first you need to actually import here or include here another header file that's called imgcodecs.spp, and now we are going to also include here another header file that's called OpenCv2 slash the HiGUI, this HiGUI.spp, and another header file here, let's say hash include OpenCv2 the image processing, that's mean imgproc.spp, and another one that's called the obj detect, that's mean object detections, but we don't need that. We actually need it later on when you're actually trying to detect the faces. So let's include it here. So let's say objdetect.spp, and also we need to include here another header file that's called the input and the output stream. So let's say io stream. Okay, this one. Now you're going to actually create one loop, not actually loop, this is called the main function. So in C++, how you actually run this code, it actually go to this main functions. So now you're going to actually give here the path of the images that you are going to actually load it. So let's say path equal, we need to give here the path of the images. Let's say chando.jpg. If I go inside our this project file, and you can see here chando.jpg is actually already here. So it actually give here one error, and path is nothing but one string, but we also get the error. So why you actually got this error? Because this string is actually inside our std, that's called standard library function in the C++. But how you actually give here this std : it actually got. So you can also do it in the another way. So for that you need to actually use another one that's called namespace. So let's say using namespace std, now it actually you can use this function, or you can say data type inside your program. Okay, you need to also using the namespace for the OpenCv, because you're going to actually using the function for the OpenCv, like I am show or the I am read. Now cool. So for that, now you are going to actually load the images, right? So for loading the images, we are going to actually using one method in the OpenCv that's called IamRead, and this IamRead taking one path. Okay, so it will actually return here one images, and this the data type of the images nothing but called the mat. So mat is nothing but the one data type in the OpenCv C++, and you know image is nothing but the matrices, or in the Python it said the numpy array, that's been multi-dimensional array, and after joining the multi-dimensional array it actually give here one image. So that's why how you actually give here the variable name, that's been specified here, the variable name you need to actually give here the data type that's called mat in the C++. Now you're going to actually using the IamShow. So IamShow, and inside that we need to give here one window name. So let's here give here one window name, it's called frame, and just pass here the image. And also you need to give here one keyboard binding function like OpenCv in C++. So let's say white key and give here 10. 0 is nothing but the delay. Okay, how you actually don't click the cross button, it actually stay. Okay, now let's save this file and just click here local window debugger, and it will load the images from the directory. Okay, just a while. And now you can see here our image is loaded correctly. Cool. So now let's close it now, and you can see it will gone. Cool. So now you're going to see that how can you create one webcam. Okay, so for that we need to actually initialize here one video capture of it. So let's actually comment out this line here. Let's comment it right now and created another main function for actually for webcam. So you need to actually give here this kind of multi-line comment in the C++. So let's create another function. No, why I'm actually talking about like that function? This is called main function, like, okay, not actually use a different function, that's called main functions. So void main, and now we are going to actually using video capture. You need to actually create one video capture object. So for inside the video capture, you need to give here 1. So in the Python, we actually using the 0 for the default webcam, but in C++, you need to give here the webcam number as 1 if you're actually using your attached webcam in the PC. Now what I'm gonna do, we are going to actually create one infinite loop, and you know video is nothing but the serial of images. That's mean there have some sequence, and after 1 millisecond you can actually get 30 images, and after combining the images it actually give us one video. So now what I'm gonna do, we need to actually create one loop. Okay, we need to create one infinite loop so that we can actually iterate to all the images from the video and we can actually show it. So for that you need to also initialize here one variable that's called image, mat image. Mat is nothing but data type, that's called matrix. So now we need to actually read it. So let's say video dot read, and inside this you need to pass here the image. But in the OpenCv Python, we actually read the images like that. Image equal to cb2, not cb2 actually, video dot IamRead like that. But in this case, you need to give here the variable name inside your parameter, not like that. So this is completely different, like not actually very different in the Python and the C++. So now what I'm going to do, you are going to actually show the frame. So for that, you can copy this out. I'm so lazy. Just paste it inside it here, and also give here one wait key. So for that, now you have to give here one delay. So let's give here delay as a 1. Okay, now let's save it, and you can actually run the code here, and it will open the webcam. So now you can see here our webcam is actually opening. Cool. You can also change the background color here. We also see that. Let's say how can you actually also actually change this theme here. You can see here right now actually using the dark theme. You can also change it. Let's say blue extra contrast. You can see here you can also change the theme. Okay, and now if I run the code, that's why my lighting condition looks good. Now you can see lighting is really good. So you can see here, now you can see webcam is actually opening up, and right now it actually taking the picture, and after taking the picture you actually make one video like that. You can also make it a little bit slow. So how can you actually make it a little bit slow? You can actually play with your this millisecond. Let's say give here 20 millisecond. Now it actually give here some slow performance. That's mean after 20 millisecond it will take one frame. So you can see it looks quite slow, quite little bit slow. Okay, cool. You can also load one video file from here. So for that you should give here your video path. But right now I am not actually interested to give here the video path here. So you need to just go inside your project file, that's been folder, and open file in Explorer, and you can actually give here one video. And just you need to actually replace this one into your video path, and it actually also load the video path here. Cool. Let's close it now. So let's open the dark theme. We are programmer and we actually love the dark theme. Let's open the dark theme here. Cool. So we create the video correctly. Video, that's mean we create the webcam correctly. So now what I'm gonna do, we are going to actually now detect the face. So for detect the face, you're going to actually using this hair cascade file, right? So this hair cascade file. So this hair cascade file, the default.xml file that you're going to actually use here. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually creating one object for Cascade Classifier. You can see Cascade Classifier, and let's give here name. Let's say face detect. And now you're going to actually load it. So let's say face detect dot load, and you're going to actually pass here our XML file dot XML. Cool. So now we need to create one vector. We need to create one vector of the faces. So let's create one vector. So inside this vector, there should be the rectangle. That's mean the coordinate value of the faces, that where the face is actually located. So let's say faces. So inside these faces, we can actually get the value from the faces. So now what you're going to do, you're going to detect the faces. So for that, you're actually using one function that's called the detect multiscale. Let's say face detect. Okay, not face detect. Okay, face detect dot, let's say detect multiscale. And we are going to detect inside from our images that you actually initialize it here. So let's initialize it before. So image, and also you need to give here one output array. So for when you actually detect the faces, you need to also store it, right? So input array and detection based tracking object. So detection based tracking object is one kind of vector. You already initialized it here. So let's here faces, and also give here some value that's called 1.3 and the 5. This is mostly similar as Python. If you're coming from the OpenCv Python, that is really mostly similar to the Python code. So now what I'm going to do, we are going to actually iterate to all the value from the here, that's been from the coordinate. So now what I'm going to do, we are going to actually iterate to all the faces from our faces vector. So you can actually copy this out, or you can say cut, and you can actually paste it inside our infinite loop. So let's also cut it and just paste it before them. So now what I'm going to do, we are going to actually iterate to all the faces from our vector. So let's say for, you're going to create one loop. Let's say int I equal 0, and we are going to go the faces dot size. Let's say faces, that's our faces dot size. And also we need to actually increment it. And now you're going to actually create one rectangle. After detecting the face, you need to also create one rectangle. So let's say rectangle. So this rectangle. And now what I'm going to do, you are going to actually give here the input output array. So our input output array is nothing but our images, and also give here one point, so we can get the point inside our faces. So in our faces, there should be the top left corner value and also the bottom right corner value. So let's say faces I dot, that's are the points. So we need to give here the top left corner value and the faces value. Let's say faces. So this faces index I dot bottom, that's called BR, that's mean bottom right. And another one is called the scalar, or that's mean color. So when you actually initialize the color, you need to actually use these scalar functions. It's a scalar. So let's give here one color. Let's say 50, 255. That's mean red color. And another one is called thickness. So let's give here thickness as 3. Let's give here the semicolon. Okay. So now if I run the code and it will detect the face, and let's check it out, that is detected the face or correctly or not. So now let's run the code here. Now you can see here, open the webcam and also detect the face. See, some lagging here. Why lagging actually? Okay, cool. It's lagging here because we give here the delay rate should be 20. So that's why it actually give here this kind of delay. So let's keep here 1 millisecond and now run the code again. Okay, cool. Now you can see a frame rate is good, no problem. And you can see here, I am also recording the video and also my webcam is on and also my recording is on. So that's why it's some lagging here, no problem. But it detect the face correctly. See how cool it detect the face. Okay. So now you can actually creating one put text and also count that how many face is really detected. Cool. So now let's do it out that how many faces detected. So for that, what I'm gonna do, we are going to actually check that the size of the faces is how many. So for that, you can actually print it. Let's say see out, and let's say print here the faces dot size. That's in our line of the faces. That's how many faces detected. So let's keep here handle. And now if I run the code here and also show it another face and also count that. So now let's run the code here. And let's check this. Let's check this on inside the terminal, and you can see here 1 because one face is detected. So let's use this picture now, and you can see here how many faces is detected here. And you can see here number is right out changes, and you can see here right now 6 7 6 7 like that. Okay, 6 7 like that, and you can see here 6. Sometimes it's called the 7 because of my webcam is not so good. So we can actually using this length of the faces and also show it inside the put text, right? So let's use it now. So for that, what I can do, we can actually show it inside one put text. So let's say put text, and inside this we need to give here the image. That's our image, and also let's give here the length of the faces. So let's say faces dot size. And this actually give on one integer, so we need to also convert it into the string. So for that, we're actually using the toString functions. Let's say toString, let's say this one. And also what I'm gonna do, we need to give here the point that where you are going to actually show. So let's give here the point. So this point is nothing but the your coordinate value where you're actually trying to show it. So let's say 1040. And also let's give here the font name. Let's say font hairshade duplex, and also give here a color. So before giving the color, we need to also give here one scalar, right? So let's give here a scalar as 1, and also color. So let's say scalar, and let's give here the white color. So let's say 255 255 255. Okay, and also give here the thickness. Let's give a thickness is 1. Cool. So now let's save it and run the code here again. And also let's try to make it to the light theme so that my camera looks good, because here writing condition is not so good, so that's why. Sorry for my slow bias, because I'm really very sick while I'm actually making this course. So that's why my voice is not actually clear. And you can see one. You can see on the put text, you can see one, that's one face detected. But when actually show here, and you can see nothing is actually here. There's been no face is detected. You can also test it out here. Let's test it out here now. And you can see here the 6 space, that's been 6 is detected. Cool. So now we can actually create one rectangle, and inside this rectangle we can actually give here that one face is found or 2 face is found, like that. So let's do it now. And let's also change this theme. So now I'm going to create one rectangle with the fill color of red. So let's actually copy this out here, and just you need to change these points, right? So let's say points. And let's give here some point. So we can actually start from 0 to 0. This rectangle, and actually and do it inside the point of the 250 and the 70. Cool. And you can actually give it inside the fill. That's when you're trying to fill it, right? So give here the fill. So now let's run the code here and save it, and just go to this local window debugger and just run the code. So now you can see here our face is detected and also counted. That one, you can see here one, and we can also give here one string, right? So that it looks really good. So let's give here also one string here. So now let's add here one simple string here. So let's say one face is founded or 2 face is founded, like that. So let's say face found. So it will show when the face is found, otherwise it's not showing up. Let's save it now and also run the code here. Load window debugger. And you can see here our webcam is actually open, and you can see one text that's called one face found. Okay, if actually show the another picture like that, and you can see here 4 face found. Cool. And you can see here this really working fine here. So you can actually make this kind of application using the C++, like that. Okay, sometimes it actually give here 2 faces found because of my webcam quality is not really good, so that's why. So let's close it now. Also you can give here one space. Cool. So this full project is already available on my YouTube channel, but this is based on Python. And you can see here this is the video to how can you count the faces and also how can you detect the faces. But this is based on Python and the Pygame. We also see that how can you combine the Python, Pygame, and also the OpenCv. You can also check it out from here. I actually put this link in the description. You can also go here and click and you can watch the video. So this is all about for the face detection course in C++. And in the upcoming video, we are trying to cover some awesome project in the C++ for OpenCv. And how I'm actually making this course, really I'm very sick. My voice is not really very clear. If you have any problem to actually listening my voice, so comment below or pardon my mistake. So hope you support me a lot and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thank you and bye-bye. And also let's give here the font name. Let's say font hash duplex, and also give here a color. So now let's add here one simple string. So